Hi, my name is Yuan, and I'm a video game designer, and also a voluntary mentor at Clubhouse Casa de la Juventud Mora in Costa Rica. And today, we're gonna talk about how to conduct a video interview.
This is a project for the Studio 52 Challenge, Inspirational Influence. Video interviews can be a powerful and cinematic way to portray an individual or tell a story about a particular subject. However, to communicate in an expressive and interesting way, we need to understand the three most important elements: image, sound, and content of the interview. Image is one of the strongest aspects. If everything is pleasant to look at, it will invite viewers to pay more attention. One key element is composition, where your subject will be in relation to the whole image. This may seem obvious, but it's crucial. First of all, remember that the most important part is the face. Make sure we can see it clearly. You don't want an interviewee to look like this. When framing a close-up, we want to see the eyebrows and mouth. Don't worry about cutting the top of the head. But if hands are important, make sure you can see the gestures. Also, verify that the subject is looking at you, not the camera. It can be very awkward. And try not to frame at very weird angles. Professional cameras will give you much more options, like keeping in focus what's important. But don't worry if you have a point and shoot. As long as I can record video, it's fine. Lighting is much more important than the camera anyway. Professional lights exist, but they're expensive and can get very, very hot. Make sure an adult helps you. There is, though, a very strong light source that is free, abundant, and found everywhere: the sun.
However, filming outside can be tricky to expose correctly, and you have more chances of other noises contaminating your audio.
It's best to be in a place with windows and curtains where we can control the amount of light that enters the room. You can also use a lamp or something to soften shadows or give color. Just be creative.
In general, avoid strange framing, and light your subjects so they look as best as possible. After all, nobody likes to look bad.
Next is sound. The audio quality is really what defines your interview. Even if it looks great, it's all for nothing if you can't understand what's being said. Make sure the words are clear. If something doesn't sound right, or a plane just flew by or whatever, don't be afraid of recording the same question again. Directional microphones are best for isolating just the sound that you want to hear. But if you don't have one, don't worry. Just be very quiet while recording and play it back to make sure you got it right. When the audio hits red, it's impossible to restore, so keep an eye out for distortion. It sounds really awful.
Get good audio and make sure your subject talks clearly.
Lastly, it's the interview itself. It's essential that you always have a clear idea of what you want to communicate, the big picture. Ask questions that help your subject tell the story through their own words. Don't ask questions that have obvious yes-no answers, or that have nothing to do with the point.
Are you a girl?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
When was the last time you ate boogers? Prefer questions with how, when, why, or Shazam. Shazam is the capital of?
Wait, what?
Maybe not Shazam. But remember to tell your subject that it's okay to mess up and to repeat a question, if necessary. Also, offer them water or a drink and make sure they're comfortable.
Just don't let them get too comfortable. Keep an eye on them. If they start to lose energy or enthusiasm, bring it back. And make sure they don't miss the point and drift elsewhere. And of course, avoid foul language.
Well, that's about it. There are many more details that need to be covered, and we might do that later. But the basics are pretty much down.
Just have fun conducting an interview, but remember to pay special attention to the image, sound, and to ask solid questions that guide the viewer through the story. And the most important advice I can give you: take off the cover of the camera and make sure it's recording. If you do everything I mentioned before but you forget to hit the record button, then it's all for nothing.
Thank you very much, and see you next.